flashers there. Yep, there he is. Fantastic. Woo! Jumping off in the distance. There we go. I supported his head by what I call the broke man's downrigger. 80-pound braid on in, and there you go. You're creating a bit of further back is, you know, we're bringing the boat through, and you're going to carve fish. Bam! This is going to be a risky game here. No. Hey, what's up, guys? Nick the Informative Fisherman here, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to troll on a low budget. No downriggers. I won't even use my fish finder today. I'm going to even shut off my iPilot. We're going to use the big motor. We're going to use buckets. I'm going to show you guys how to set rods back and know your distance without line counting reels, and how to use what I call the broke man's downrigger. 80-pound braid, just on any reel that you're not going to be using. I just have an old beat up reel here. Any release you can find. I got a little plunger on there, tied some lead weights onto the bottom. I just drop it down to my desired depth. Now, how you do the depth is, at home, you put some bobber stops on your line, and you put the bobber stops in there, and you mark it every 10 feet, so you can eyeball it, and you can say, I'm roughly at 20, roughly at 15, you know, and then just, you know, engage your clutch there, and then drop it down the desired depth, you know, engage, wrap it around your guardrail a few times, and drop it down. It's 80-pound braid. The stuff's extremely durable. Set it in, load your rod up. You see this rod right here, and see the reel down there. That's another broke man's downrigger, and I got that at 8 foot right now, and you can see this rod's loaded up. And this is pretty good. You know, you can use a little bit amount of weight when the fish are relatively shallow, within 30-40 foot deep. You can use the broke man's. Otherwise, go up to about 100-pound braid and really load up on your weight, and it'll still work. Braid's a really thin diameter, so it's not picking up much water drag on there. I only have about a 6-ounce weight on there. We're doing 2.2 miles an hour, and you can see it's pretty much straight down, so you can get some really good depth throughout the summer and, you know, early fall, and still get down there and catch fish without spending thousands of dollars. Yeah, I'd still use the quality gear if you can afford it, but you can definitely get away with it. Looks like I'm tangled up in another line too. That's not good. No,
yeah, was it on the hillbilly downrigger net?
No.
No, it wasn't.
It's a trout tangled up in another line. Look at that. That fish came on the broke man's downrigger right there at about 6-7 foot deep. This is on the Dr. Spoon 255 in that brass and chrome finish, the half and half with that red hook on the back there. It crushed that thing. I saw him load up earlier. I was wondering what was going on. I didn't see anything happen. Well, what happened is, during the middle of one of my turns, I had crossed it with another plug, so the rod kind of just stayed loaded and it never translated to bite. But, you know, he did crush that thing. He had it choked down. Out here at Lake Woodward today to show you guys some tricks and do a few different techniques, and it's nice. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He's decent. I'm just gonna go ahead and swing him into the boat. I didn't really bring a net, so. Oh, nice little keeper bow to start off the morning. Check that out. I tangled up a bunch of lines, making a little too tight of a turn, or fixing it, looked over, seen this rod pop off the broke man's downrigger. Just loaded up into him. Oh, we got a big trout here. Okay, and I didn't bring a net, and this is the best trout I've hooked in this lake yet. Okay, this is gonna be a risky game here. No. Come on now. Okay, he's so fresh, I don't want to even try to put my hands on him yet. I can't swing this fish, that's the problem. Normally I'm used to swinging pound and less fish in this lake. I don't expect to hook a big one, so today was broke man style, so I left the net intentionally back to swing fish. So I'm going to have to show you how to do this the broke man's way. A lot of the time, when I'm out bass fishing, we have treble hooks in a bait. We're gonna come up, we're gonna trap the fish against the side of the boat and grab his belly. A trout's much more slick than a bass, so I'm gonna do this. If the fish comes off, no big deal. At least it's a fun attempt here. He's real fresh too. A little too green. There we go. I supported his head by holding the line and grabbed his tail with my other hand to get away from his belly. He's too slick. I got those treble hooks on there. But that is a nice rainbow on the Dr. Spoon once again. I'll even pull the scale out and weigh this guy. I think he's gonna break too. Yeah. There it is. On the Dr. Spoon, crushing them once again. Woo! Yeah. Okay, so now I'm about to set back my Shasta Tackle Troll Lights right here, these flashers with a little double scorpion spinner and chartreuse. I normally crack them out here on this. And what happens, we're finding a lot of fish in about that 8-foot water column, so I stuck a little 1/4 ounce bullet weight with a bead out in front of this. And what I find with a 1/4 ounce at 100-foot setback, on standard with my lures, I gain about an extra 5 foot of depth. These flashers got a little bit of resistance, and they'll normally run in about 2 foot of water. So now I'm getting down in that 7-8 foot water column just by adding that 1/4 ounce, which is gonna get us right into that kill zone where we just hit that last big fish. Now, if you're trolling, a lot of the time you're gonna use line counting reels. But since this is the Broke Man special, I'm just gonna take one of my bass rods right here, one of my loaner ones. This combo right here is about $60, okay? It's not overly expensive. You can even do it with a $30, $40 combo. And I'm gonna set it back 100 feet. Now, how am I guessing? I'm not looking at my level line because that's not going back and forth when you release a spool on a bass reel like this. So all I did was take a bobber stop, just like for a, just if you're gonna float fish, one of those little threads, you slide them up on your line, and I'll show you one. If you look at the bottom of the video here, that's the bobber stop I'm talking about. You slide the line through there, and then you put it on. And what I did is measure out 150, 100, and 200 foot, and I slid bobber stops up my line. So I'm gonna show you, if you can see the spool right here, you can see that chartreuse color in the spool. Now what that is, that's set back at 100 feet. So what's gonna happen is my bobber stop's gonna appear and come up on my line, and as soon as I see it, it's gonna be an exactly 100 foot setback. So you'll see it come out there. And it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. When I'm top lining, I like to go a little bit further back. And the benefit of further back is, you know, we're bringing the boat through and you're gonna carve fish out to the side. See, there's that bobber stop right there. So I know I got 100 foot. And every 3 cranks of my handle, I've counted my level line going back and forth, and 3 cranks, so 3 passes is gonna gain me 10 foot. So let's say I want 90 foot. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm at 90 feet. Let's say I want 80. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm at 80 feet. In that case, if I got another lure out there at 100 foot, I don't want to confuse the fish. I want to separate them by a good 20, 30 feet. So by doing that, I now know exactly where my lure placement is, and I can go ahead and load it up into the rod holder. Here we go. Broke Man's downrigger. Picked it up to almost 2.5 miles an hour to get these fish to commit. Seems to be just the speed change. We were trolling at 2. I was cracking them pretty good the other day at 2 miles an hour. It's a little guy here. I'm just gonna swing him in. We were cracking them at 2 miles an hour the other day, and now it seems to be 2.5 the ticket just to get these guys to react and crack it like that. Once again, same Dr. Spoon. I just rigged it up on another rod over here, just knocking their lights out now. That speed change seemed to be a world of difference. Clean looking fish. Okay, so now if you're like a lot of guys and you don't have a little kicker trolling motor, or if you don't have the iPilot like I run around on, you can run your big motor, but a lot of the time you can't get down to that proper trout trolling speed, that 1.5 to 2.5 mile an hour area. Now how you can do that is a real simple old school method. See this bucket right here? Big old 5-gallon bucket. You tie it to a rope, tie it to the side of your boat, ease it on in, and there you go. You're creating a lot of drag like this, and this is gonna get your speed down. A lot of the time, you're idling and, you know, barely kicking around on a 2-stroke like we got right here, you're gonna be bouncing all over the place. So by adding buckets, you can pick up the RPM a little bit to smooth things out, but you can still see the rod tips bouncing around considerably. But we are there. The one thing you want to keep in mind is you're causing a lot more engine noise when you have the big motor running. So your setbacks, increase your normal setbacks by an additional 30 to 50 feet. You got clear water, 50. You got slightly stained water like this with about 3 foot of visibility, you can go another 30 and you'll probably be just fine. What that's gonna do is gonna help with that engine noise. and the spooking, the movement of the water that's really scaring those fish. So the buckets are good technique. We have one running on this side and running on that side. Now let's say you don't have a, you don't have a graph, okay? You don't have a GPS unit. How are you supposed to tell how fast you're going? Well, most people nowadays carry a smartphone. And if you just go on to GPS odometer, when you do a search engine on an Android or an iPhone, the Apple Store, whatever you want to do, odometer, GPS, you type that in, there's apps for it left and right out there, and you can see your speed right on your smartphone. So that's something to keep in mind. Now another thing I want to cover, why don't you follow me back here? Now when you're using your broke man's downrigger, this is where you have to be super cautious. You got a prop turning down here, so a lot of the time you can re-rig them to the outside here to avoid your prop, or move them to the outside of your boat. And you want to be super cautious, because I'm using braided line on here that does not get caught in the prop when you go to pick it up with your hands. So never wrap it around your fingers, ease into it like this when you pick it up. That way if it does get caught, it just slips off your hand, and you're not getting any of your fingers tangled up in that braided line and caught into the prop and end up losing a finger like that. So you can still do it. Don't have the fancy trolling motor, drop the buckets down on the side and use your outboard. You do have the fancy trolling motor, well, you're okay there. You don't need to use the buckets. You don't have the downrigger, use the broke man's downrigger. You don't have line counters, measure it out, put a bobber stop on that bad boy. You can't tell your speed because you don't have a graph, get the smartphone app. A lot of tricks there for you guys, and we'll cover some more stuff here in a minute. So it looks like we hooked a little largemouth on the broke man's downrigger. Here he is. Oh yeah. Another one off the broke man's downrigger. Got us another nice little bow here. And now I got the bucket in the way, so we're gonna have to try to get a little tech. Ooh, now he's getting some second wind. Get down. A lot of the time when they're breaking the surface, you wanna put your rod tip under. What happens, you start springing on them like that. And when you put your rod tip under, it gets some load back on the fish, and they'll calm down a lot of the time and not throw the hook. So now I'm gonna get down here, try to trap him against the side of the boat. I'm gonna grab about 6 inches in front of the leader, and then grab his tail with my other hand. Ask JP to hold that rod for me. JP, can you hold my rod?
I got your rod.
Whoa, whoa. No. Okay, he's getting a little crazy still. This is all about broke mans. Normally I'd bring a net, but today's all about the broke man. Woo! Almost got some treble hook in my hand. He's got a lot of energy in him. Yeah.
Nice.
Another nice trap. Landing them broke man style.
Nice fish.
Don't want to lift fish like that on 6-pound tests. We're running 6-pound tests right here. You don't want to be lifting fish like that. That's for certain. Now it didn't pop out of the broke man's right there, partner.
Did good.
It didn't pop out, it just lifted up, so we had to pull it up and manually pop it. That's what happens sometimes, because the weight's not heavy enough. You can either add more weight, or when you see that it comes up, pull your broke man in, pop it loose, and then fight the fish. A lot of the time, because he's already pegged and stayed on there because you're removing when you hooked him in the first place. Ain't that right, partner?
That's right. Broke man is the way it goes.
That's one heck of a fish, you know? Yep.
Man, that has a pretty mouth.
Yeah, it does.
Dang, that's beauty. Look at the spot. That is nuts.
As soon as JP turns his head, I poached him.
Man, Nick.
I seen it pop the clip there. And I said, man, there's no better time to poach a man when you just pass him over your sandwich.
I see how you do that now.
So let's just poach him. Better watch that sandwich, because I'm going to swing this fish.
Can you put him in between the buns here?
Woo!
Wow, nice.
Another decent one there. Keep your rod tight. Don't point your rod straight at him. You can try to just lift him over if you want to.
All right.
Looks light enough. And another one for the box.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Right.
He's okay. He's a fighter.
It's a little smaller than the last one. Little crypt.
So what I'm doing here is a helium balloon fly rig. This is something I was kind of dreaming up. I know some other people do, you know, balloon rigs, but I inflated this with helium. And you see just below there, you see my barrel swivel, you see my snaps and my bead and a bunch of split shot. What I'm gonna do is we have a crosswind today. So I got a long leader. I got about a 4.5 foot leader down to a woolly bugger fly. And you see how my split shot and everything levitates right over the water. Well, I'm gonna start letting some yardage out. I'm gonna let this balloon get out there a ways because it's gonna stay away from my lines and it's gonna progressively pick up on my fly. And it'll move it out to the side of the boat, almost like a planer board. And just let it out there. And it's gonna start getting tension and the balloon will start working its way back down and it's pulling my fly and toting my fly along. And what it's gonna do is every now and then we're gonna get a gust of wind and it's gonna lift up on my fly. It's gonna hop the fly out of the surface. It's gonna jerk the fly off to the side. It's gonna do some really erratic movements on that fly to make it really lifelike the whole time. And it just pretty much stays away from the other lines right now. We only have 3-mile-an-hour wind and it's out a good 10, 15 foot to the side of our boat already and I only have about 40 foot of line out. So that goes to show you right there, it could be highly effective for getting long range and away from the side if you're using a fly. If you're using a bigger lure and you want to move it out there and tote it, you got to make sure your lure doesn't have resistance to where it jerks the balloon down. Otherwise, put 3 or 4 balloons on your line and it'll lift up that bigger bait too. Throw some crazy action into there.
Stay with us, guys, and when we come back, it'll be back to more broke man tactics. Hey, what's up, guys? Nick the Informative Fisherman here, and when it comes to spooling up my reels, I choose nothing less than the best, and that's why I use P-line each and every time. Are you fishing the best?
P-line, baby. P-line.
Did you ever wish for an RC boat when you were a kid? And do you have a passion for fishing? Well, guess what? It's time to do them both at the same time. With RCFishingWorld.com's RC Fishing Pole, it's time to be a kid again. So visit www.rcfishingworld.com today. Ever tried pulling a planer board next to your boat when trolling or fishing from a swift current bank? If not, you're missing out on one of the most phenomenal fish catching machines on the market today. With Yellowbird planer boards pulling your lines perpendicular to your boat, you can't help but catch more fish. Find out more by visiting www.yellowbirdproducts.com. Have you been to rustylures.com? Did you know they offer free shipping on anything over $29.99? And with all the latest and greatest in bass fishing gear from punching tackle, umbrella rigs, swim baits, and you name it, there's really no reason for you not to be getting the best deal online today. So go to www.rustylures.com. Have you had the chance to fish the baddest hoochie on the market today? That's right, I'm talking about the Shasta Tackle Wiggle Hoochie, one of the most dynamic reaction trout and salmon lures that runs second to no other for pulling and triggering fish into striking. So I guess the real question is, are you catching all the fish you should be catching? Thanks for watching, guys. Now let's get back to the show.
So the water is a little stained up, so I grabbed some flashers to throw off some more vibration, those Shasta Tackle flashers in chrome, since it's a bright, clear, sunny day like this. Just dropped it back, stuck it in the rod holder, and instead of putting like a bait keeper hook and a crawler behind it, I kind of wanted to run all lure solely. So I stuck a scorpion spinner behind it, and my buddy Doug MacArthur, he modifies these things into double scorpion spinners. Puts 2 blades on them. I know Gary's gonna be releasing those shortly for Shasta Tackle. And whoop. Oh, I got him good. There he is, look at that. There's that chartreuse scorpion spinner. Here's that chartreuse scorpion spinner right there. Right behind the chain of flashers. I seem to get it done real quick there. Nothing great, but a great pan fry. So I still got the balloon working off there in the distance and the fly is still rippling the surface, and every now and then the balloon will dip, so it's still putting the action there. But we're getting all of our lines out right now. Right now we have our 4 lines out. On this rod over here, we're running the Shasta Tackle Crip Lure, which has got 1 fish. On this rod right here is where I put those flashers that just got that other trout. We just lost one on it. And then off the planer board, I have that Yellowbird Dr. Spoon, which was the one that got our first fish this morning. So I'm trying to figure out what they all have in common. You know, the speed that we're catching them at, ooh, that was a bee right there on my neck. The speed that we're catching them at is 2 miles an hour. I was going lower than that. I didn't get hit. I dropped down to 1.5, 1.8, didn't get hit. I went a little bit over 2, didn't get hit there, but it looks like right around that 12 to 10 foot is where we're getting the majority of our strikes. We're in 31 right now, and I haven't hooked up with anything this far out. It looked like we just got a tap on the flashers there. Yep, there he is. Fantastic. Woo! Jumping off in the distance. Okay, I take that back. In 31 feet, we did get hit because I'm hooked up. We'll go ahead and scrap what I was just saying right there. Just kidding. It feels pretty decent. Pretty decent fish here. Let me take a look at my heading, make sure I'm not going to run into anything. Yes, I am. There we go. It looks like he's under these rods. I'll keep him under this. Can't make too tight of a turn while I'm fighting these fish either. This is the nice part about the Minn Kota iPilot right here, is that I can do that, which is great. You know, still drive the boat from back here. I got a little island coming up in front of me. Don't want to take the load out of the fish. Got this little island coming up in front of me, so I don't want to make sure I pull this up on a sandbar or nothing. Oh, much better trout here, much better. Come on, get in the boat. There we go. There we go. Another 1.5 pound fish. Another tasty one for the box. So I have a bait out there that's running about 2 foot down, and most of our fish have been coming right in that 4 foot section. So I take a little tiny egg weight right here with a little short little leader line, and I take a snap swivel. And if I want to send this out and not take the rods out of order, what I could do, simply reach down, grab my rod, take my line, take that snap swivel, snap it over it, hold my rod tip vertical, and it'll start working its way all the way out to the bait. And as we troll, it's going to pull itself all the way back down there, all the way to my bait, slowly but surely. That'll give me about another 1.5 to 2 foot of depth. We just looped around the rest of the lake, and I said, well, let's go right up to that island where we just got hit on the way in. Whoop, 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 get down. Where we got hit the first time, where I said, oh man, I had that V on my neck, and sure enough, we got right back over here. Exact same setup on the flashers and scorpion spinner, hooked up again. I'm planing him right now. He's up on his side. I'm gonna just plane him up. Bam! Not as big, but another fish. So I'm pretty happy with these results. We're definitely getting them. Sweet! So here's our first planer board hookup of the morning. I got the Dr. 265 Dr. Spoon on. That's the that's just the model size. That's a 3/8 ounce model. I need the balloon out of the way. There we go, we're clear. It's the 3/8 ounce model, and I got it in a chrome and blues to show them something real natural. Those Dr. Spoons, man, they just knock their lights out. Coming up on a flat here. Just gonna adjust our heading. Yeah. Normally I'll do a leader with a bead to my planer board, but I was top lining this and we were moving rods around quick, but you can still see it didn't knock the fish off. Yellowbird planer boards, these things are phenomenal for running multiple lines off your boat. There's that 265 Dr. Spoon. Crush that thing. That chrome and blue, real clean. This guy's been hit by a boat.
Doesn't get hooked up in the belly downrigger now. Dead or not? Hey Nick, how far is the downrigger down?
About 5-6 foot.
About 1 or 2 down.
That's it.
Yeah.
Whoa, and into the sea. I got it, Mike. Go ahead, look up. Look at these spinners spinning them around. Yep, another bass. A lot of bass back here. Oh yeah. Crip lure too. Nice. What color crip lure is that, Mike?
That is a brass and orange.
Brass and orange. All right. Stuff back, might be able to swing it easier. So I forgot the net today since we're out here fooling around trying different techniques. There we go. Another nice clean trout for the box.
On the crip lure.
Didn't you see the rod tip stay straight?
Oh man.
Oh,
Pretty good size.
nice one. Feels good. Now these little ones fight hard sometimes too though. Sometimes the little ones fight harder than the big ones. Oh, pop loose right there.
Oh.
That sucks. So we used up the iPilot juice, so we went back to the big motor to do it to the traditional way. Got another nice one. I'm gonna swing them up right here. Woo!
Right, yeah.
We've lost 3 actually. Just had them come up short of the boat and pop off. So we're still hitting them pretty good. Knocking their lights out in my opinion. Another trout in the boat. Yeah. Woo! He got a little in the throat. I set my hook. I took a look. A rainbow in the boat. So I was just setting this back down into the clip, and as it was going in, I felt something tug in my hand, so I wrapped it around my wrist and jerked real quick to set the hook, and sure enough, I hooked him. Didn't even need the rod that time. That's about as broke man can get, right? There it is.
Here comes the swinger.
More lineup.
Okay.
Big baits, little trout all day.
Yeah.
That's a killer frying pan fish right there.
Oh yeah.
Here's another one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, nice.
Oh,
yeah.
And that's Broke Man's Trolling with Nick the Informative Fisherman. We'll see you next time, guys. Appreciate you watching.